Good morning, and thanks for inviting me to address your gathering to discuss the NAEP 12th grade academic preparedness initiative and how that could fit within Tennessee's education reform efforts. I'm a strong supporter of the National Assessment of Educational Progress and of the idea of having a national report card that can tell us how our schools are doing in educating America's children. When I was governor of Tennessee, then Secretary of Education Bill Bennett asked me to co-chair, along with Thomas James, a blue ribbon commission made up of 22 bipartisan leaders, including President Kennedy's former education secretary, First Lady Hillary Clinton, and others, to make recommendations about the role of NAEP in American education. In January of 1987, our commission made two major findings. First, the NAEP should be used to collect state-level data so that more reliable comparisons could be used to meet the rising public demand for quality information on the performance of schools. And second, we recommended the establishment of a new independent governance structure for the NAEP outside of the U.S. Department of Education that would be broadly representative, prestigious, accountable to the public, and sheltered from political influence. Much of our recommendations were subsequently enacted into law with the help of Senator Ted Kennedy and President Reagan in 1988, resulting in the National Assessment Governing Board and the NAEP structure that we continue to see today, more than 2 decades later. The NAEP serves a very important role in elementary and secondary education, what I think is the most important role that Washington should play, collecting and reporting on the academic achievement of students and the performance of schools. Through the NAEP, this information challenges governors, state legislatures, state chiefs, and local superintendents to keep high standards and high expectations for our children, regardless of race, economic status, or disability, rather than continuing to allow what President George W. Bush described as the soft bigotry of low expectations. Much has been recently made in Congress about the overdue reauthorization of No Child Left Behind. I firmly believe that we can and must fix that law this year. One of the most important things we need to have in this law is the Secretary's report card on education. We've learned this from the NAEP. In 1987, Secretary Bill Bennett went to Chicago and proclaimed that public schools were the worst in the nation based on testing data. This public shaming pushed Chicago to institute groundbreaking reforms with the help of leaders such as Paul Vallis and Arne Duncan, but we haven't let Chicago or other folks off the hook. Here in Tennessee, the NAEP annual report card has served as a call to action towards improving the performance of our schools and achievement of our students in relation to the rest of the country. We won't just sit back and hope that Governor Haslam and Commissioner Huffman's reform efforts will work, though they're off to a terrific start. As these reforms take hold, we must examine NAEP test results to learn if these efforts are really working. The NAEP results will help verify what Tennessee's doing, because if NAEP results don't improve, we'll know our state reforms need improvement. I'm proud of the work that Governor Haslam and Kevin Huffman are doing. With Speaker Harwell and Ron Ramsey and all of our state and school leaders, Tennessee's continuing to lead on ways to hold schools accountable, evaluate teachers and principals, and reform our schools so that all children have an opportunity to succeed. And we in Congress are working to fix No Child Left Behind. As we do that, we need to come to some important agreements. One agreement in particular is related to the reason why you're gathered here today. Republicans and Democrats agree that we should set a new national goal that all children should be college and career ready when they graduate from high school. Now, I may question whether the goal should really be college or career ready, since we probably don't really expect all our students to go straight to college, and certainly don't expect them to go to the stereotypical 4-year liberal arts college. We should value community colleges, work colleges, professional apprenticeships, as well as the 4-year, even 3-year degree programs offered by our colleges and universities. But the idea that a student should graduate from high school ready to go on to the next step in life, whether college or a career, is a smart goal. It's a much better goal than the current No Child Left Behind goal of having all students be proficient on state tests by 2013-14. A college and career-ready goal is much easier to understand for parents, for teachers, and for local communities. It's a better benchmark. It makes sense when you talk about it. I mean, how many students graduated from high school ready to go to a college or a career? But the next question is, how should states measure that? How will they know if their students meet that mark? One way that states will measure that is through the NAEP. And you all are gathered in Nashville to discuss the work of the NAEP 12th Grade Preparedness Commission as they're examining how to improve the NAEP test for 12th grade students and how that'll fit with what Tennessee's doing. That's an important project, and I encourage you in your efforts. As Tennessee and other states continue to work on improving state education systems, NAEP must continue to be the gold standard for states to compare themselves against. Thank you very much.